15 celebrities who say they actually talk to ghosts. One star claims a ghost saved their life. Another swears they were seduced by a spirit. Wait until you hear who felt invisible hands and why they'll never forget it. Some of these encounters were even captured on camera. Others remain unexplained to this day. Let's start with number 15, LaToya Jackson.
When it came to his passing, and anyone around right before or right after, there's a feeling of someone's story changing, of someone saying, I saw him go through this, this happened, and then their story changes like abruptly after.
Okay.
There's a very strong emphasis on this. He's acknowledging that he should not have been left alone at a time when he was left alone. And that's coming in, and that's what he's putting a lot of emphasis on. The person who should have been there to monitor wasn't monitoring, and it's like, I trusted you to be there, I trusted the role that you were supposed to have to help me, and you left. It's like, of all times, you should be right here.
Did something happen while he was abandoned?
It's an interesting thing with this, because I feel like when he was abandoned, that would have been an ideal time for him to try to reach 911, to try to call for help, to try to get help. At this time, he realized something was wrong while he was alone, and that's when he was conscious and realizing something's wrong here.
In 2016, LaToya Jackson appeared on Hollywood Medium with Tyler Henry during season 1, filmed in Los Angeles. She hoped for answers about Michael's sudden death on June 25, 2009, at age 50, in his Holmby Hills mansion. Tyler claimed Michael's spirit described who was there, his Dr. Conrad Murray, the house staff, and his children, Paris, Prince, and Blanket. Michael allegedly shared regret about the pressures of fame and feeling misunderstood. Tyler repeated private details about the final hours that LaToya said no one outside the family knew. Let's move to number 14, Keanu Reeves.
What do you think happens when we die, Keanu Reeves?
I know that the ones who love us will miss us.
In 1971, Keanu Reeves was 6 years old, living in a small apartment in New York City with his mother and nanny. One evening, he saw something he never forgot. A white headless jacket floated into the doorway. It had no arms, no legs, and drifted in the air for several seconds. Keanu said in interviews, "I thought, that's interesting," but his nanny froze in fear. She confirmed years later she saw it too. The jacket had belonged to a former tenant who died there months before the family moved in. Keanu never found an explanation. He still calls it the strangest moment of his childhood and admits it left him questioning what's real and what isn't. Stay watching. Each story only gets harder to explain. Let's move to number 13, Cher.
Switches down, on and up, and it would just be like him to do that.
After Sonny Bono died in a ski accident on January 5th, 1998, Cher said she felt his presence many times. In her Los Angeles home, built in 1957, she noticed the chandelier in her bedroom flickered without power. During a 2013 Reddit AMA, she wrote, "It's Sonny saying hi. It happens all the time." The chandelier was professionally rewired in 2005, but the lights still turned on. Cher explained she never felt afraid, just comforted. She believes Sonny liked to tease her in life and continued after death. Friends and electricians witnessed the flickering, but found no cause. For Cher, it was proof that love can outlast everything, even decades apart. Stay tuned. Some stories ahead are even stranger than this. Let's continue with number 12, Courtney Cox.
I live in a house that I heard was haunted, and recently I saw something. I mean, there's no question I saw something.
You saw something?
Yep.
Do you think that?
In 2004, Courtney Cox bought a 5-bedroom Spanish-style house in the Hollywood Hills. Built in 1928, locals often warned her it was haunted, but she didn't believe them. One afternoon in 2005, a delivery man handed her a package and suddenly turned pale. He asked, "Do you know there's someone standing behind you?" Courtney felt a cold rush but refused to look back. She later told Ellen it was the most frightened she'd ever been. Within 30 days, she decided to sell the property. Neighbors claimed they'd seen shadows moving across the upstairs windows. Even after she moved out, the house's reputation stayed the same, a place no one wanted to stay alone in at night. Stay watching, these stories only get more chilling. Let's move to number 11, Jessica Alba.
In 2008, Jessica revealed that she had a terrifying experience with a ghost as a child. "I felt the pressure and I couldn't stand up, I couldn't scream, I couldn't speak, I couldn't do anything," the actress told US Weekly.
In 1998, when Jessica Alba was 17, she lived with her family in Claremont, California. One night at 3 a.m., she woke up unable to move or scream. She felt intense pressure pinning her to the bed. Her blankets were suddenly ripped away by invisible hands. When she finally broke free, she ran to her parents' room crying. Her father called a priest to bless the house, and they burned sage for 2 weeks. Jessica never felt safe there again and still sleeps with a light on. Stay tuned. Some spirits are even harder to forget. Let's continue with number 10, Joe Jonas.
Me or my brothers, but we attract ghosts. I lived in a haunted house with a few roommates back in the day. This house here in Los Feliz, and right before it's Natalie Portman owned the home. Right, and they quickly moved out. So.
In 2012, Joe Jonas rented a 4-bedroom house in Los Angeles' Laurel Canyon, a neighborhood famous for old properties and ghost stories. One night, LAPD officers knocked on his door around 11 p.m. They said a woman's voice had called 911, whispering, "Help me." Joe showed them the landline, unplugged in a closet. A week later, it happened again. Dispatch logs confirmed both calls came from his address. In a 2015 podcast, he said, "It was too specific to be random interference." After the second incident, he broke the lease and moved out. Stay close, things are only getting stranger. Let's move to number 9, Kesha.
Kesha claims she slept with a ghost. In an interview with Conan O'Brien, Kesha claims that she once got intimate with a ghost.
In 2012, Kesha appeared on Conan O'Brien and told one of the strangest ghost stories ever shared on TV. She said she woke up in her Nashville home feeling a cold, invisible figure lying next to her. It touched her shoulders and whispered in her ear. Kesha called it sexy time, though she never saw the ghost's face. That same year, she released the song Supernatural, inspired by the encounter. In multiple interviews between 2012 and 2013, she insisted it was real and not a stunt. Kesha has always believed in the paranormal and described the experience as both fascinating and unforgettable. Stay watching. These next stories will make you question everything you believe. Let's continue with number 8, Dale Earnhardt Jr. On April 25th, 2004, during an American Le Mans Series race at Sonoma Raceway in California, Dale Earnhardt Jr. crashed his Corvette C5R into a wall. The car exploded into flames. As smoke filled the cockpit, he felt 2 strong hands grab under his arms and pull him free. When he looked around, no one was there. Photos taken moments later showed Dale alone on the ground. On the Dale Jr. download in 2017, he said, "I know someone pulled me out. NASCAR confirmed no safety worker was nearby. Stay tuned, some ghosts never really leave." Let's move to number 7, Vanessa Hudgens.
Recently, Vanessa Hudgens opened up about a ghost experience she had in her home. The superstar, who's known for her roles in High School Musical, admitted that she experienced something supernatural in her house. In an interview, Hudgens discussed the creepy experience. "When I first moved into my house, I started to feel a presence. Something strange," she said. "Sometimes I'd come home and it felt like someone had just walked by the front door."
In the late 1990s, Vanessa Hudgens lived in Salinas, California with her family. She had a small wooden duck toy with a red pull string. One morning, around 7 a.m., she watched it slide across the dining table all by itself. Every time she stepped back, it stopped moving. Vanessa later said in a 2022 interview with Kelly Clarkson that this was her first memory of paranormal activity. She described herself as sensitive to spirits and has used a spirit box to communicate with ghosts. Vanessa keeps protective crystals in her house to this day. Friends say strange things always seem to happen when she's around. Stay with me because the next encounter is even more unsettling. Let's continue with number 6, Lily Collins.
Actress Lily Collins believed she received support from the ghosts of Ted Bundy's victims while preparing to take on the role of the infamous serial killer.
In 2019, Lily Collins filmed Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil and Vile, playing Elizabeth Clover, Ted Bundy's longtime girlfriend. During production in Cincinnati, Ohio, she woke up every night at exactly 3:05 a.m. She saw flashes of unknown faces and felt someone watching her. Lily told The Guardian, "I didn't feel scared. I felt like they were there to thank me." After filming ended, the vision stopped. She believes Bundy's victims were reaching out because she was telling their story. Psychologists called it stress-related hallucination, but Lily never agreed. She said it felt too real and too specific to dismiss. Stay watching, because one actress actually asked a ghost for approval to play her. Let's move to number 5, Helena Bonham Carter. In 2018, Helena Bonham Carter was cast as Princess Margaret in Netflix's The Crown. To prepare, she met a psychic medium in London to ask if the late royal approved. During the session, the spirit allegedly said, "You're better than the other actress they were considering." Helena thought it sounded exactly like Margaret, witty and blunt. She later shared in The Guardian that this encounter made her feel confident she had Margaret's blessing. Helena has described herself as open to spiritual guidance, especially when portraying real people. For her, it wasn't superstition. It was about respect for someone whose life still fascinates millions. Stay tuned. Next, you'll hear about a house that refused to stay quiet at night. Let's continue with number 4. Chloe Sevigny. In 2017, before filming Lizzie, Chloe Sevigny stayed overnight at the Lizzie Borden house in Fall River, Massachusetts. Built in 1845, it became infamous after Andrew and Abby Borden were killed there on August 4th, 1892. That night, Chloe heard heavy moaning and footsteps upstairs. Around 2 a.m., her boyfriend woke up gasping, saying he felt someone pressing on his chest. Chloe later told Entertainment Weekly, "It was terrifying. I couldn't sleep." She never stayed there again and believes the spirits are still active. The house now operates as a bed and breakfast where many guests report the same encounters. Stay watching. Next is a haunted New York theater. Let's move to number 3. Laura Linney. In 2000, Laura Linney was rehearsing for The Crucible at the Belasco Theater in New York City, a venue built in 1907 and famous for ghost stories. One afternoon, she looked up at the locked balcony and saw a woman in a blue dress with blonde hair watching her. When she glanced away for a second, the figure disappeared. Later, she told the house manager what happened. He calmly asked, "Male or female?" She said female. He nodded and replied, "Blue dress, blonde hair." Dozens of performers have reported the same apparition over the years. Laura has called it the most surreal moment of her career. Stay tuned, some spirits stay much closer to home. Let's continue with number 2, Dorinda Medley.
And all of a sudden, as I go to take Parsley for a last little walk, I hear, "Hey, Dorinda."
On your property.
In my pool area.
Oh. No.
And at first I thought, oh my God, you don't want to acknowledge it.
Most people feel alone after loss, but Dorinda Medley believes her late husband Richard never really left her side. After Richard died in 2011, Dorinda moved back to their Berkshire's home, built in 1929. Almost right away, she felt his presence. Warmth in empty rooms, lights flickering without cause, and quiet footsteps on the stairs late at night. In a 2017 interview with People, she said, "I believe people don't go away. They transform into different energy. Some friends thought she was just coping, but Dorinda insists it was real. She still talks to Richard when the house feels too quiet." Stay here, because the next story is even harder to explain. Let's finish with number 1, Demi Lovato.
That's the one you sang to the ghost, right?
Yes.
I believe it was an alien, though, right?
No, it was a ghost. Yeah,
sorry.
It was a ghost. But
why did the ghost need to hear that song?
In the 1990s, Demi Lovato lived in a house built in 1927 in Dallas, Texas. From the time she was 3 years old, her mother often found her talking to empty corners of her bedroom. When asked who she was speaking to, Demi would calmly say, "My best friend Emily." Over the years, she saw Emily standing by her closet and sometimes sitting at the end of her bed. In a 2013 interview, Demi said, "The house was ridiculously haunted. She never felt afraid, but always believed Emily was a lonely spirit looking for company." Even after moving out, she has shared the story many times, insisting those memories were real. To Demi, childhood was never truly spent alone. If you love uncovering Hollywood's hidden secrets, don't stop here. Click the video on your screen now to explore even more shocking stories. Like, subscribe, and stay curious.